I legally tortured my neighbor for 6 months using a light sensor, a subwoofer, and the principles of classical conditioning, and I don't regret a single second of it. It started when Kyle moved in next door. Kyle decided that the space between our houses needed the security of a maximum security prison. He installed a motion-activated, industrial-grade floodlight. But he didn't aim it at his driveway, he aimed it directly at my master bedroom window. The first night, it triggered every time a moth flew by. My room lit up like a supernova every 45 seconds. I didn't sleep. The next morning, I walked over, polite as a priest, and asked him to angle it down. Kyle looked at me, took a sip of his energy drink, and said, "It's for my safety. Buy some curtains if you're sensitive." That was the moment diplomacy died. I didn't buy curtains. I bought a Raspberry Pi, a high-sensitivity photocell, and a directional speaker system. See, I realized that fighting light with light is amateur hour. You have to fight light with sound. I rigged the sensor to my windowsill. I wrote a simple script. If the light level in my room exceeded a specific lumen count, meaning Kyle's floodlight turned on, my system would trigger a response. But not just any noise. I didn't want to get a noise complaint. I needed something short, piercing, and maddening. I chose the Baby Shark intro, just the first 4 seconds. I set the volume to a level that was audible to him, but just below the legal decibel limit for a disturbance. I pointed the speaker directly at the wall where his headboard is. Night 1 of the experiment, 11 p.m. A cat walks by. His light blasts my room, do, instantaneously. His light goes off. 11:15 p.m. A car drives by. Flash, do. By 3 a.m., I could hear him shouting in his backyard. He was trying to figure out where the music was coming from, but every time he went outside to check, the motion sensor would keep the light on, which kept the music playing on a loop. The only way to stop the music was to turn off the light. He was trapped in a loop of his own making. 3 days later, the police showed up at my door. Kyle looked exhausted, bags under his eyes deep enough to carry groceries. He told the cops I was blasting music to harass him. I invited the officers in. I showed them my setup. I explained very calmly that it was an automated home security alert system. It alerts me when bright lights enter my property. The officer looked at the sensor. He looked at the speaker. He looked at Kyle's blinding floodlight. He stifled a laugh and told Kyle, "Sir, if you turn off your security light, his security alarm won't trigger. It seems like a civil matter." Kyle went to war. He tried taping over his sensor. He tried wearing earplugs. But low-frequency bass travels through walls. He couldn't escape the shark. After 2 weeks, I came home to find a contractor removing the floodlight. Kyle wouldn't even look at me. The silence that night was the sweetest thing I have ever heard. But here's where it gets interesting. I actually deactivated the script 3 days before he took the light down. The last few nights, the music never played, but he told the contractor he could still hear it every time the light clicked on. I didn't just annoy him, I rewired his brain. So I have to ask you, am I the villain for breaking a man's psyche over a light bulb, or did he bring this nightmare on himself? Whose side are you on? The best part is, I still hum the tune when I see him getting his mail, just to see him flinch.